Filipinos continue to face rising prices of goods from the supermarket down to the sari-sari store. And according to a recent study, inflation among food items in your neighborhood shop rose even faster than the government's estimate. We speak now to Fourth Wall's Brylle and Packworks Andres Montiel. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Brylle, let's start off with you. Inflation in January stood at 8.7%. But with your methodology and tools, we saw prices at sari-sari stores at more than 15%. How did you come up with this number?
Good evening, Rico. In calculating the grassroots sari-sari store level inflation, we used for this study the data from 200,000 sari-sari store partners of Packworks who use the Superstore app. And for this study, we only included the food products that are readily available in sari-sari stores. So for example, for vegetables, only very few goods were considered, such as preserved vegetables, because sari-sari stores do not commonly sell fresh vegetables such as onions, which infamously became very expensive in the market recently. For sugars and confectionery, apart from refined sugar, the bulk of the sari-sari store data that we use there are candies, jellies, and for these reasons, the inflation figure that we calculated for vegetable and sugar products are much lower than that of PSA. But overall, yes.
So, Andres, I wanted to cross over to you, because onions were not included in this basket. So, if onions were included, then we would see much higher inflation rates of more than 15%. But tell us, which sari-sari store food items saw the highest double-digit gains in terms of prices?
Yeah. So in terms of food items, these are largely the prepared food items. So for example, we have canned goods. We have as well a number of them also have hot dogs. So the things that are easy to pack, long lasting, and easy to consume as well. So these are the ones that had the biggest increase in terms of prices.
So for you, Brylle, which sari-sari store items had the lowest rise in prices?
Well, the lowest rise in price that we detected, based on our study, are actually in the cereals, in the cereal products. Yeah.
And Andres, are the higher prices because sari-sari items are what you call tingi-tingi, or piece by piece?
Yes.
Is that why they were more expensive, and that's why sari-sari stores price points are much higher than those of the groceries or supermarkets?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Because if we look at it on a per item, or because the volumes at which sari-sari stores sell their goods are not as big as your modern trade. So, for example, selling canned goods, the income is not as big as, let's say, if someone sold thousands and thousands of these items. So they needed to increase their prices to supplement their income. So, for example, it might not be enough. Again, sari-sari stores are family, so not enough for the medicines or for the tuition fees or for the other basic goods that the owners of these sari-sari stores spend on.
And Brylle, you mentioned 200,000 sari-sari stores were included in this particular study. Which locations and areas did you conduct this research? Are these 200,000 sari-sari stores across the country? Are these nationwide or only in certain areas? Because in the last inflation rate that came out in February, we saw Metro Manila prices still higher than the normal rate. And of course, Central Visayas inflation rates were in double digits.
Yes, absolutely. The 200,000 sari-sari stores that we sampled covered the entire nation. It's from Luzon to Mindanao. So in that sense, it's nationally representative, I should say.
nationally represented. And Andres, have you talked to the Philippine Statistics Authority regarding this method that you use, the Sari-sari store inflation rate, to be able to really find the true price points and inflation rate in the country?
Not yet, but we are very open to it. We have data down to barangay level. So if they want to see, for example, what are the typical prices, not just in, for example, in Marikina, but in Barangay and Kalumpang, the barangays, we are more than open to working with them on this.
What do you make of the basket, inflation basket, Brylle, of the Philippine Statistics Authority? Does it really reflect prices in the country, or should it be changed?
I believe so. Yes. No. We have to remember that PSA uses an internationally accepted methodology to calculate the inflation. Let me be very clear lang when interpreting this information. We are not saying here that Philippine Statistics Authority's data is wrong. No, but what this study is only suggesting is that if you look down at the grassroots level, at the sari-sari store level, the effect, the inflationary effect, could be much higher than what is officially declared. So it's rather like similar to temperature and heat index. No, when you say that the temperature is 36 degrees, it's possible that people will experience heat as high as 42 degrees. So that's your heat index. The same case goes here.
So,
but the two information are actually can be compatible.
So this sari-sari inflation rate, Andres, is it just a one-off that Fourth Wall and Packworks are working on, or are you planning to use this now consistently throughout the year?
This one actually is an experiment. We wanted to see, because our data has many uses, so we wanted to see how the inflation would reflect based on the data that we have. Is it a one-off thing? I seriously doubt it. We will continue to run it in the following quarters and see what the numbers present.
All right. We will definitely get back to you when you come up with your February, March, and April reports. Thank you so much for sharing your data with us, Brylle Bae of Fourth Wall and Andres Montiel of Packworks.